This is Jeanette K Caines from Jewelry Arts Inc. This is part 2 of the video, how to bring a melted pearl cap back to life. We're going to glue that pearl in today and finish it off beautifully. Are we live?
You're live.
Look how fucking good this looks. Here's a little close-up of what this looks like with the cap on the pearl. So delicious. Who would have thought something with a giant hole in it like that could come out so gorgeous? Are you kidding me? Look at this. So we're just getting ready to glue the pearl. So what we were doing is like we cut the peg down to make sure, you know, that it fit really well. I know, right? Everyone's like, going, oh, I'm all verklempt, because it's just absolutely beautiful. Okay. See? And you see how we trimmed the little cap down until it was the right size. And like, you know, like a lot of other things, we trimmed it, left it a little long, tried it, trimmed it a little more. Now, like if it doesn't fill every molecule, it isn't the end of the world, but you really, ideally, you want that in there. I mean, the peg really helps the glue to hold, you know, which is why it's in there. So what I'm gonna do is, what we use this 5-minute epoxy, you know, 2 parts, you mix the one, you mix the other. The glue holds shockingly well. Like we use that for all kinds of things. But there's a few things that you have to remember, like we're gonna use equal amounts of each or else it doesn't set up, you know? So I'm gonna put the little dots right next to each other because they're both clear. And if you put the drops one on top of each other, you won't be able to see like, was there more of one or the other? I usually use something like toothpicks or here they are. Something that I can throw in the garbage, right? Because people are always like sticking their end of their tweezers in there and then like, oh good, now you're living with that glue forever. Same thing with this. This is like an old out-of-date postcard that you're gonna throw away. So all I'm gonna do is put a little dot and then a little dot of the other one next to it until they match, and then I'm gonna mix them up. Mix them up a little more than you think you have to, because it's the mixing that really puts them together and gives you the chemical response. Now, like for example, you look at that, right? More, a little bit less, so I'm gonna put a little bit more over here so that they match up. And that's why you don't just blob them on top of each other, because then you can't see what you've got. Okay, I'm gonna use this high-tech method. You're gonna love this, watch, it's amazing. Like that, mix, mix, mix. And like I said, mix it a little more than you think you have to. It doesn't take a lot of glue. This stuff smells like death. But to be fair, it doesn't smell nearly as bad as the epoxy putty stuff we used to use back in my day. And that you could literally feel your IQ points just dropping every time you sniffed it. So this is actually an improvement on that. So, okay, the other important thing that I have here is just a damp paper towel. Like, will you accidentally get glue somewhere you don't want it? Maybe. If you do, and you wipe it off immediately with a damp paper towel, no problem. It's only if you fucking notice it after everything is set up, then you're like in deep shit and you gotta soak it in some kind of acetone or like, you know what I'm saying? So like, have something here. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit on the post. And here's the thing too, an enormous amount of glue isn't gonna help. It's just gonna goob all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So like, don't get too insane. I'm just gonna put some on there like that. Okay. And then, pardon these suggestive movements, but I'm gonna put it in like part way and kind of spin a little bit and then slide it in there, because in other words, I don't wanna jam it in. I don't want to jam it in there super fast because then stuff will spurt out. There, you made me say it. I'm like trying to think, no, there's no way. So, okay, press it in. And then for this, literally, like that's fucking it. That's all there is. I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna leave it on the table, and we're just not gonna fondle it or anything. Now this stuff dries up or hardens in theory in like what, like 5 minutes, called 5-minute epoxy. I normally though don't wear a piece of jewelry that I've glued until the next day. Okay. Just in case, you know what I mean? Like, would it be okay? Probably, but I just feel like, do I wanna be the one that finds out? So I'm just gonna leave this on a piece of paper or whatever, just don't mess with it too much, and you let it harden up. I mean, that's literally,
It's a lid cracker.
it. It looks absolutely sensational, and and this is why, like I said, there are times where we have to start over and we just suck it up, and that's how it is. But so many things can pretty easily be fixed. What did it take us? An extra half hour maybe or something? It's really not that big of a whoop. So, you know, that's how I know how to fix these things, because I've already fucked it up. Just like you, and probably worse.
The end.
The end.